This is Government Unfiltered. I'm Dan Williams. This podcast is a reading of the December 22nd, 2022 final report from the Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the United States Capitol. Chapter 6. Be There, Will Be Wild. 6.9. QAnon. Operation Occupy the Capitol. Shortly after the January 6th attack, a video of a bearded man in a Q shirt chasing U.S. Capitol Police Officer Ryan Goodman through the halls of the U.S. Capitol went viral. That man was Doug Jensen, a QAnon believer. After Jensen's arrest, FBI agents asked him why he traveled from Iowa to Washington, D.C. in the first place. Trump posted, "Make sure you're there, January 6th for the rally in Washington, D.C., Jensen responded. Jensen was not the only QAnon believer to attack the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. The letter Q and related slogans, such as, "Where we go one, we go all," were ubiquitous among the rioters. They were visible on shirts, signs, and flags throughout the crowd. What was once a marginal digital movement had become a bricks-and-mortar force powerful enough to help obstruct a joint session of Congress. QAnon is a bizarre and dangerous cult that gained popularity in 2017, when a person known only as Q began posting on 4chan, an anonymous message board. The poster supposedly held a Q security clearance at the Department of Energy. QAnon adherents believe that President Trump is a messianic figure battling the forces of the deep state and a satanic pedophile ring operated by leading Democrats and the American elite. Q's first post in October 2017 predicted that former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton would be arrested in short order. Although that prophecy did not come to pass, the conspiracy theory evolved and grew over time, spreading across social media platforms and eventually finding a home on 8kun, another anonymous message board known for trafficking in conspiracy theories and hate. President Trump was given multiple opportunities to disavow QAnon. Instead, he essentially endorsed its core tenets. During an August 19, 2020 press briefing, President Trump was asked what he thought about the QAnon belief that he was fighting a satanic cabal. "I mean, if I can help save the world from problems, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to put myself out there," he replied. During a town hall on NBC News 2 weeks prior to the election, President Trump first claimed he knew nothing about QAnon, but then he praised its believers for being very strongly against pedophilia. The president emphasized, "And I agree with that. I do agree with that." In 2020, QAnon played a significant role in spreading various election conspiracy theories. After the election, QAnon accounts amplified the claim that Dominion voting system software had altered votes. On November 19th, President Trump tweeted and retweeted a link to a segment on One America News Network, OAN, that was captioned, "Dominionizing the Vote." The segment claimed that Dominion had switched votes from President Trump to former Vice President Biden. OAN featured a supposed cyber expert, Ron Watkins, a key figure in the QAnon conspiracy movement. Watkins' father, Jim, owned the 8kun site that Q called home, and Ron helped oversee its message boards. After promoting the OAN segment, President Trump retweeted Ron Watkins' account on several other occasions. On December 15, 2020, President Trump retweeted a post in which Watkins spread false claims of foreign influence in the election. Then on January 3rd, President Trump retweeted Ron Watkins' account 4 more times. QAnon's adherents were clearly paying attention to President Trump's words and tweets. The president's "Be Wild" tweet was widely heard as a clarion call. Jim Watkins told the Select Committee that thousands and thousands of people probably agreed that President Trump's December 19th tweet was a call for them to come to Washington, D.C. Jim Watkins himself marched in Washington, D.C. on January 6th because of the president's call, but he has not been charged with any crime. Other QAnon adherents flocked to Washington, D.C. in response to the president's call to action. POTUS has requested your attendance, Washington, D.C., January 6, 2021. Thomas Munn, a QAnon believer, posted on Facebook. Munn added, "Our president has only asked 2 things from us so far. Number 1, vote. Number 2, January 6, 2021. Jacob Chansley, better known as the QAnon shaman, told the FBI that he traveled from Arizona because President Trump had requested that all patriots come to Washington, D.C. on January 6th. During the investigation, the Select Committee learned that the QAnon conspiracy theory often overlaps with other extremist beliefs. Stuart Rhodes of the Oath Keepers testified to the Select Committee that he's not a Q-tard and not a follower of Q at all. However, Rhodes cynically exploited QAnon for his own purposes. The Oath Keepers' website and text messages were littered with QAnon phrases. Nick Quested, a filmmaker who shadowed the Proud Boys, often heard QAnon themes in the Proud Boys' private discussions. As January 6th drew closer, multiple posts on the QAnon-linked website 8kun indicated that violence was imminent. You can go to Washington, D.C. on Jan 6 and help storm the Capitol, one user wrote. This same user continued, "As many patriots as can be. We will storm the government buildings, kill cops, kill security guards, kill federal employees and agents, and demand a recount." Other posts on 8kun debated the politicians that users should target once they got inside the Capitol. A QAnon-inspired banner was also widely shared by groups planning events for January 5th and 6th. The top of the image read, "Operation Occupy the Capitol." The central image showed the U.S. Capitol being torn in 2. In the lower left corner, there appeared a QAnon phrase, #We are the storm. Episodes of Government Unfiltered are created based on the value for value model. I create the episodes, and you can decide what it's worth to you. If you prefer to listen through the full chapters rather than the individual chapters, supporters at patreon.com/timberlanemedia get exclusive access once they're completed. Thank you to associate producer Jay Bernhard and all of the insiders who provide support there. You can also support the effort at governmentunfiltered.com by clicking the support button for a one-time donation. And you can click the contact button and ask for an address if you'd prefer to mail a check. Follow the show on Twitter at govunfiltered or on Facebook at facebook.com/governmentunfiltered. Thank you for listening.